We need that soundboard that PJ has where you can just play that song over and over again, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, ready for this?
Welcome to our episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick alongside Tate, Sigworth, and Nick Merriam. So we broke down Spencer Rattler, we broke down Sam Howell, broke down Kayvon Thibodeau. Now breaking down maybe my favorite prospect in this draft. That's LSU corner Derek Stingley Jr. Going to go over his strengths, weaknesses, where he ranks for us on our boards, get player comps for him, and what NFL teams he might fit at the next level. Before we start the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Follow our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Boom or Bust Draft. We're on YouTube. Anywhere you get your podcasts, like us, rate us 5 stars, check out the merch store, and please keep supporting us because support for us is brought to you by that right there. Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? You're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped our friends got a little southern draw there in my voice. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, 4.0. Look at how sleek this baby is right here. It is so much better than the 3.0, which was so much better than the 2.0, which is so much better than the 1.0. 5.0 is going to be unbelievable. I'm just saying it right now. Complement your summer bod with a trim for the leaders in male grooming. The sun is shining and calling your name, fellas. Join the 2,000,003 men worldwide. No longer 4. Our boy PJ Clark is now in Detroit, not getting the Lawnmower 4.0. Worldwide, who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code BOOMERBUST, all caps, no spaces. That's BOOMERBUST for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. So escape the shrubs and weeds this summer and shine with Manscaped. So let's go over the background on Derek Stingley Jr. He's a junior. Derek Stingley Jr. is a junior.
Look at that.
6'1", 195 pounds. Former 5-star recruit, number 3 overall, right behind Kayvon Thibodeau and then Nolan Smith, the edge rusher, who is at Georgia right now. Number 1 corner in 2019 coming out of Louisiana. Tied for the 4th highest rated cornerback recruit ever in the 24/7 Sports Composite era, which is since 2000. He was a first-team AP All-American in 2019 as a true freshman, was the AP SEC Newcomer of the Year in 2019. And in 2 years, he has 6 interceptions and 20 passes defensed, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 3.5 tackles for loss. He also reportedly will play some receiver this season for LSU as well. And he's going to wear that legendary. Yeah, we'll love to see it. Wearing that number 7 jersey at LSU, which is legendary down in Baton Rouge. So, Nick, let's start with you. When you watch Derek Stingley Jr., what do you like the most?
Well, it's kind of everything, right? Like you get a little bit of everything from Derek Stingley. He's a good NFL size on his body. He plays outside corner. He gives you that press man, which you love to see at that position. That's the most valued skill, I think, at corner that the NFL teams are looking for right now, because it's just hard to cover guys one-on-one these days. Unbelievably good his freshman year against top competition, playing in the SEC, was able to match up against good receivers, guys who are in the NFL, played his best games in the biggest matchups, had an amazing SEC championship game against Georgia, defending against probably some good, I don't remember who was playing receiver for Georgia, but I assume someone pretty good. And Jake Fromm is an NFL quarterback. So
Jake Fraud.
I mean,
Jake
look,
Fraud. Let's get Jake the branding Fraud, right, gentlemen.
George Pickens was there. Yeah. George Pickens is a good receiver.
So, Jake Fraud, barely an NFL quarterback. But look, this is a freshman corner going up against an NFL quarterback. So that's impressive as it was. And he had 2 interceptions in that game, multiple pass breakups. Was targeted 16 times for whatever reason in that game. Just unreal ball skills, great hands. Yep. Max mentioned that he's going to play receiver this year. It's because when he came into LSU, the plan early was for him to play, I think, both ways. And they said, I was actually watching that game back against Georgia, they literally say in the game, hey, this guy's probably going to be playing receiver at some point for LSU. Well, yes, this year he probably will be. The guy has great body control, fluid mover, very fast. Ran a 4.3 right out of high school, 4.3 flat. He's not the most physical guy, but he can be aggressive, especially against the run. And he's going to get you the ball. I mean, he is a ball-hawking corner, plays press man. It's just everything that's valuable about the corner position right now, he has.
Yeah, don't know how to follow that up. That was a very glowing review from Nick Merriam on Derek Stingley. He's all the coverage tools you want from an elite corner. In the past years, you've kind of forced, I think teams have maybe forced the elite corner, number one corner prospect type. But Derek Stingley is all that and more. Speed, size, fluid hips, great vertical, 42-inch vertical. You mentioned the 4.3 flat 40. He was a 42-inch vertical as a high school senior as well. Great on jump balls. You mentioned the press coverage. We saw how J.C. Horn's draft stock rose dramatically in the lead up to the draft this past season. Well, Derek Stingley has press coverage skills too. He's going to be 20 on draft day. We love that. We absolutely love that. 3-year starter despite being 20. Barring injury, he's going to be one of the most experienced corners in this class. Consensus All-American as a true freshman. Pedigree. 5-star recruit, Max, you mentioned, number 3 recruit in the nation behind Kayvon Thibodeau, who we just did the video on. Just so many things to like. He is the elite outside corner prospect that maybe some years are missing, but man, does this draft class have it.
Yeah, you guys mentioned he's got all the tools you want. You mentioned the size, 6'1", 195, good size for the position. You guys mentioned the 40 in high school ran a 4.3. Not like he's going to run a 4.3 at the combine. Like this guy might be running the 4.2s when we get to the actual combine. 42-inch vertical, that could go up to like 45. I mean, this guy's a freak athlete. Best corner in the country in 2019 as a true freshman in the SEC. Targeted a ton, dominated. 6 picks, 15 pass breakups. He forced tight coverage nearly every play. And like I said, true freshman in the SEC. The ball skills, too, they are absurd, like Nick and Tate mentioned. You can see why he's going to play some receiver. He makes some interceptions that, frankly, not many other corners can make. And he also routinely guards the opposition's best receiver. LSU's not just putting him on one side of the field and saying, okay, just guard whoever's over there. He is following whoever the best receiver on the team is, and he's still dominating. He's got that lockdown corner mentality. But Tate, what do you think Stingley's weaknesses are?
Not much, really. If anything, I actually don't really have much written down for this. I'm sure you guys will have something. He had a slightly weaker sophomore season. You mentioned the 2019 season that was unreal, but the 2020, a lot of people say it was bad, but like he gave up more catches in that regard, but he didn't really get burned at all. Only 2 games in 2020 where he allowed more than 40 yards. A lot of people remember it for the Devontae Smith catch that he had on him, which was ridiculous, but that wasn't bad coverage at all. He was on him like the whole way and forced this ridiculous catch. More experience is good. I'm confident he's going to bounce back. I really don't have anything for this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Devontae Smith thing. I mean, it's been said by other analysts that I may or may not listen to, that Max may or may not work for, that that the best throw and the best route is going to beat the best coverage every time. So, you could do a great job on Devontae Smith, but when Mac Jones is, having an excellent season and Alabama's, winning a national championship by 4 touchdowns, it might be hard to cover that up, which is fine. We can deal with that. That we can do. It's going to happen. But yeah, weaknesses, I don't know. He's not huge. He's average sized. I mean, he's got good length, I think, that maybe his frame's, I don't know. He's chase down speed. He's playing receiver. He'd get hurt playing receiper. I don't know.
That would be bad. That would be down horrendous if he got hurt playing receiver.
It would be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much for this.
This is tough, man. This is a lot. We'll get into it a little bit. It's a lot like the Trevor Lawrence preseason video. Where like, I don't know, man. Like, you mentioned that Devontae Smith catch. Like that also was, first of all, a great route and a decent throw. Devontae Smith went up with one hand and caught that, and he's the highest. Like, what do you want?
Like, okay, like sure. Like
Stingley was glued. To
he got mossed on that play. Who cares? The guy won the Heisman and made a one-handed
catch. The coach is not telling Derek Stingley about what he did wrong on that play. She's like, I don't.
Everyone's losing that rep. Tate, you mentioned 2020, bit of a letdown. He kind of dealt with a nagging ankle injury too, which I think affected him a little bit. QBs, they kind of learned. So Nick mentioned it earlier, like why the heck did you target him 16 times? They kind of learned from freshman and sophomore year because they barely targeted him at all in 7 games this year. Didn't have as many opportunities to make plays on the ball. Only had 5 pass breakups, no interceptions.
which isn't a bad thing. That means you're really good at your job.
Yeah, and again, following the top receivers. So it's not like they're still targeting. He was following the best receiver every single time.
The Bama game, if you look at the numbers, that Devontae Smith catch, that's like the only catch really he gave up. Yeah, I think Devontae Smith maybe had like 1 or 2 more catches, but it wasn't for any meaningful yards. Like it
was absurd.
Those are my 2 cents.
Yeah. Like he's an okay tackler. He's an okay run defender. I agree with Nick. He can stand to add a bit to his frame. He's 2 inches taller than the average corner, but only 2 pounds heavier. So gain 10 or so pounds, get to 205. And I don't love LSU playing him at receiver. He won't do it in the NFL. I don't like
How do you know?
Maybe
he's Deion.
The Shohei Ohtani, the Deion Sanders type.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Why waste his energy? Why risk injury? Nick, give me the bottom line on Stingley, where he ranks for you, player comp and team fits.
You said me, right? He's number 3 overall. He's the best player in this draft. He can't be number 1 because he's not a quarterback. Sorry, that's just the way this works. But best player in the draft. Not many blemishes. He's this year's Penei Sewell. Teams that could be picking high that aren't looking for QBs are kind of the fit, I guess. So the Jets just signed Morgan Moses for sure, so I don't actually know they're going to be picking this high. But I guess if they're picking this high, they're a team. I think the Raiders are going to be bad this year, but they could still keep Derek Carr. Maybe Atlanta, if they're bad, could use corner helps. Teams like that, they're looking for non-QB players and could be picking high. Comp, this guy's a little bit heavier, but similar plays man, ball hawking corner. Xavier Howard is my comp.
All right. Yeah, he's number 3 on my board currently. I have him ahead of Kayvon, but as I've said, him and Kayvon at this moment are kind of like interchangeable, I think, for me. I think he could very easily end up as a number 2 on my board behind Rattler or Howell, whoever distinguished themselves if one of them has an off year and kind of slips down farther. He's CB1 comfortably. I don't foresee anybody catching him. I know we maybe said that about Pat Surtain last year, but it was the gap.
This is a good corner class too. It's not even like it's a bad like this is a really good corner class, and still like he's
CB1. The gap to CB2 I think is much bigger than last year's. My comp, I'm going slightly bigger, Denzel Ward as a homer. I've been getting some grief in our past 2 videos for comparing people to NFL Hall of Famers, perhaps. So I'm going, he's a Hall of Famer in my heart, but I guess maybe he isn't in real life. I don't know. We'll see. Athletic ability, man coverage ability, it's all there for both of them. Highly touted prospects coming out of college. I see similarities between the 2 in terms of their frame and their play style. So I'm going Denzel Ward, CB1, number 3 on the board currently.
Tate was going to say Deion, but we made him change it.
This is a lie. This is a lie. Don't listen to him. Fake news.
I got him at number 3 too, behind Rattler and Howell, number 1 corner. I think it's really close between him and Howell right now for number 2. And why? Because get ready, this is a generational corner that we're talking about right now in Derek Stingley Jr.
There we go.
The
season hasn't even started yet, folks.
I'm using the word. He's in the same vein as guys like Trevor Lawrence, Penei Sewell, Chase Young, Quentin Nelson, Saquon Barkley.
That's Max's comp.
Yeah,
all those players at once.
One player. He's a bona fide superstar. He's at least the best corner since Jalen Ramsey. At least. I think he's better than Ramsey coming out of Florida State. Look, best prospect, Nick mentioned it, best prospect in 22, hands down for me, if positional value wasn't taken into account. And really, it's not close. I don't think it's a question who's better between Stingley and Thibodeau. I think Stingley's better, plays a more valuable position too. Player comp, I'm going to go with the guy I just mentioned earlier, Jalen Ramsey. That's the kind of prospect that we're talking about, where Jalen Ramsey coming out in 2017, you're like, yeah, he is the best player in the draft, hands down. That, I think, is Derek Stingley Jr. as well. Size, speed, production, it's all elite. He's a complete corner. I think Ramsey's a little bit better as a tackler and in the run game, but I think Stingley has better ball skills and might be even better in coverage, which we're talking about Jalen Ramsey, who might be the best corner in football, him and Jair Alexander. But I don't know, man. Stingley is a superstar. Team fits literally anyone. Don't pass him up if you're at the top of the draft and don't need a quarterback. Please, that's what we got in Derek Stingley Jr. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think about Derek Stingley Jr. Is he the best prospect, best non-quarterback in 2022, Also, comment what video you want us to do next. Follow our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at BoomerBustDraft. Leave a review in our podcast. Check out the website below. Hit our merch store and go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code BoomerBust for 20% off and free shipping. So for Tate Sigworth and Nick Merriam, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.